trucking, got my chips cashed in. Keep trucking, like the Doodah Man, together, more or less in life.
As a former COD rider from Brookline, my favorite part of the rides were the rides to the start. It was 5 miles to Newton City Hall, or about 7 to the JCC. We'd leave the Coolidge Corner area about 5:15 a.m., heading out Beacon, with Mel coordinating the meetup times to the minute the evening before. The group varied day to day, season to season, and year to year. Back then it was Mel, Donna, Craig, and myself, and way back, Andrew, Dawn, Cliff, Matthias, and Mike Mercier. Sometimes Karen or Michael Caton or other Newton riders would join our group as we got closer to the start. We'd chit-chat about nothing much, mostly about how tired we were, wondering if we were wearing the right stuff, talk about the ride the day before, or who we might see at the start. It was just a very special way to start the day. What I'm trying to say is, while I love it out here in the Berkshires, I really miss riding and seeing you all. Thanks for letting me share my memories.
Jeff Diefenbach here. My first Crack of Dawn ride was a beautiful August Friday, maybe 2010, 2011. Big group. I was able to hang with people. Got a little bit tailed off on Gleason back inbound, but there were others with me. Fantastic. Next week I show up, overcast, not a great day, only 5 or 6 other people at Newton City Hall. And they were wearing this black and orange, and I didn't really think much of it at the time. Off we went. Somewhere on Newton Street, climbing past the golf course, I was by myself and soloed the rest of the day. Jeff Diefenbach here. My first Crack of Dawn ride was really not very exciting. I mean, the group at City Hall was nice enough, but 8 miles an hour average was a little underwhelming. And stopping for coffee at Starbucks in Lower Falls, just 2 miles after starting, to watch Kalo snarf a muffin with snotty icicles in his beard was a bit much.
It was in the summer of 2004. It's day 1 of the PMC. I've basically ridden 3,600 miles across the country without a maintenance problem. And all of a sudden in the pace line, I hear and feel my back tire pop and then really start to wobble. I look behind me and realize that I've just broken a spoke. Michael Caton pulls up alongside of me and he says, "We're all going to pull over and COD is going to fix this." Yeah, that was pretty damn cool. But what really impressed me was some 2 or 3 rides later when my bike was making this annoying creaking sound, and I kid you not, Craig Pasek pulled out a portable bike stand from his saddlebag and proceeded to replace my bottom bracket.
Hey everybody, it's Peter Simshauser. I have found the task of trying to identify a favorite Crack of Dawn moment really challenging. There was one day in particular, and there had been a spring storm that had, while leaving the roads very rideable, left a coating of ice on all of the trees on either side of Mile Hill Road, so that as we were riding up the hill to enter the park area before the final ascent to the top of Mount Wachusett, it was like riding through this fairy tale land of, it was ice encrusted but looked like glass encrusted trees. It was really remarkable. But as I say, there are so many memorable moments, and most of all, the close friendships with so many great people. Well, then again, there were those nights when we hosted the Crack of Dawn party that we could not get people to leave. We would turn off the music, then the lights, and then Sandy and I, and even Snoopy, our dog, would put on our PJs and try to go to bed. But still, Redner and Matisse would not leave.
Okay, folks, let me share my memory, how I got to know the Crack of Dawn. It's been a while, but I will never forget that, for two reasons. Number one, it was Redner and Pasek who introduced me to the Crack of Dawn, to the existence of the Crack of Dawn. Well, that you can't forget. And then secondly, the day I actually joined the first time the Crack of Dawn was a beautiful morning on a September in the beginning of September, there's a little holiday. It was 2006. Most of you who joined that ride will remember it started beautifully. We went down towards Concord and then hit the golf course, and then things fell a little bit apart. Some of us had some scratches, others a few more, a few had nothing. In general, everybody is good. I continued riding with the crash of dawn. My first crack of dawn ride was almost my last ride, period. In Germany, we have a word for these kinds of rides, verrückt, otherwise known as crazy. We were headed to Concord by Nashotah golf course at a nice leisurely pace, and all of a sudden it was race time and all hell broke loose. An unnamed rider went down. They were all unnamed to me at that time, and then another, and another, and another, and then poof. It was over.
One of my very special memories of riding with the crack of dawn occurred on Christmas Day when we rode out to Kugel's Deli in Framingham on a very cold day. And then we headed back, and as usual, I was in the back of the group. And somehow, I got lost, and I had absolutely no idea where I was. Not even enough to call my husband to give him directions to pick me up. I was totally lost. And then who should come back but Craig Pasek, who had not forgotten me. He picked me up, and we rode the rest of the way together. And from that moment on, he had a very special place in my heart. A few miles later, when I told him how cold I was, Craig pulled over and opened his saddlebag. Inside was a small studio apartment where I was able to put my bike in and lay on the couch while Craig pedaled me home.
Hi, this is Tom Keene. Back in July of 2009, I organized a Kank ride. I had a route that I proposed, and it included an extra section we didn't usually do, people weren't familiar with, on Sugar Hill. The problem was that half the group missed the turn and ended up going all the way down 117 to 302 to a town called Bath, and then picking up the 112 there and coming back. Cost them about 15 miles, and I've never forgotten the looks on their faces when they got back, and you didn't tell me it was going to be 112 miles. Oh well, it was a great ride and a good day, but I haven't forgotten that. Well, the truth of the matter is I lied. I deliberately sent those speedy bastards on a wild goose chase so I could go get ice cream with Bruce Kalo. It was really, really good, and we laughed our asses off.
I remember my first crack of dawn ride like it was yesterday. I was not in shape. I didn't have the kit. I didn't have the bike. And I went out and joined at the urging of Mark Zients and a couple of other people, Amnon. And I'm doing my first crack of dawn ride, and riding along, coming up to the hill near the Carroll School. And I distinctly remember Neil Leifer and Marty Essner teasing me incessantly about what I was wearing, which included a felt top, gym shorts, and the wrong socks, and making fun of my bike, which still had reflectors, etc. So it was embarrassing. And then, of course, as we get to Gleason Road, even though I was in the worst shape of the group, I'm at the front. How does that happen? So there I am, Gleason Road, my first crack of dawn ride, people hanging back, and they just waited till we hit the first hill, and they blew past me and dropped me like a rock. Loved it. I never stopped coming back. Thank God for the crack of dawn. But what I really wanted to say, even so many years later, was, fuck you, you fucking fucks.